Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet Designs. My name is Mary, coming to you with our final Wreath Project for 2023. I think that's enough screaming for the day. We are completing our project. Now this project has been going on since the beginning of this year. Now we've had a few hiccups along the way. With yours truly being unwell in Easter and yours truly being unwell for the past 3 or 4 weeks. But we've started to pick up over the past week, and over the past week we managed to do 1, 2 and 3 different projects. Oh my gosh. Now look, if you have not started this project, you're not late. You can do this anytime throughout the year that you want to do. We did this year for our annual project. Now, I did everything to do with each month of the year. So I pretty much used a clock, if you will. And there's our little angel. That was the last project we created yesterday. Oh, late last night. It might have been early this morning that I uploaded it. But there you go. All right. So there you go. So that's a January. January was my birthday, so I put balloons. February was Valentine's Day, so I put a heart. March was St. Paddy's Day, so something green. That's supposed to be an Easter egg, but I sewed that on really badly. And to be fair, my sewing, when it comes to this sort of thing, forget about it. I'm sure you could do a better job. And the king was crowned. Well, excuse me, he had to be crowned, right? And then we had my dog bone here, right here. Sadly, we had our Pomeranian cross rescue dog, if you will. He passed in July of this year, and it was a very sad time for us. So I did a bone in honor of him. And then these guys here, the scarf and the beanie. I'm contemplating moving that scarf over because I think I sewed it on crooked, but there you go. Don't tell anyone. And that was in honor of me being unwell during our winter months. Yeah. Then we've got the cloud and the raindrops. Well, don't even look at them. I did such a bad job at sewing them to the piece that I messed it up. Hopefully yours will be better. I think throughout this tutorial you'll see a lot of fast forwarding, and just don't look at it, all right? Don't you love it? And then we have the flowers in honor of our spring here in Melbourne, Australia in September. October, this was supposed to be our little kitty. The only time we used crochet today will be the eyes that we created for this little kitty. He didn't have eyes because I was under the impression that once we pinned it to, let's try that again, once we sewed this guy to the wreath, you won't need to put these eyes here because you can see through the wreath. It didn't work. So I attached some eyes first, green eyes, and then we attached the piece. And we do that through this tutorial as well. All right, and then you've got our gorgeous little birdie. Now you guys know the reason I chose the birdie for November, or the bird if you will, is because my cat, when our Pomeranian cross passed, they were very close, and when he passed, she was quite lonely out there. So she decided to befriend all of the birds in the neighbourhood. We have, I don't know how many birds that swoop down and eat her food while she's staring at them. So I had to chase them off this month because she wasn't eating well. So I created a bird in honor of November. But you guys can create whatever you want for each month of the year. Now, as we all know, we've got a little angel here, which we uploaded yesterday. That was created for Christmas. Guys, what can I say? We have spent a year creating our wreath. Oh, by the way, and we also made the wreath as well, yeah? So we have spent a year creating our wreath. This was supposed to have been done by the 24th or the 23rd of December. Let me see. Let's talk about cutting it fine or what? What's today? 22nd, 23rd? I don't know. I failed maths. But anyway, geography, history. I could call it history soon. By tomorrow it's history. But I'm so sidetracked. Guys, what I want you to do, I'm very sidetracked because it's the end of the year and so much is happening and I'm struggling to keep up with it all. But what you will need today is your scissors. You will need a sewing needle. Now, yours truly couldn't find her sewing needles, and you're not going to believe this. Literally 5 minutes ago, I came into this room and there was a pack of sewing needles in one of the tubs. But anyway, so you'll need a sewing needle. You don't need one with a little, darning needle flick on it. Just a nice straight sewing needle, a little bit thin so you can get it through the thinner pieces, yeah? And you will need like, 8, 10, 6 stitch markers. It doesn't matter. Now, what we do with the stitch markers is we pop them in the place of your items that you're going to attach to your wreath, all right? I'm not going to talk anymore. I just want to say a very special thank you to all of our subscribers. I want to say all of them, those who have chosen colours for some of the items on the wreath. I did choose colours for some, but our subscribers chose colours for some of these projects, and I thank you very much. And they did that through a thing called Live Antics. Now we have Live Antics at 10 a.m. Saturday mornings, Melbourne Australia time. That's every Saturday, unless I'm unwell. I say that because I've been unwell for 3 weeks. And unless I'm unwell, it's 10 a.m. Saturday mornings every Saturday. And you as a subscriber gets the opportunity to choose the colour combination of our very next tutorial. We pop all your little names that are on the live in the little hat, and I pull out the name, and on the table I have 5 different colours, or 4 or 3, and ask you to choose a certain amount for the project during the week. You don't know what we're creating, but you do know that colour combination will be from you, and your name gets mentioned within the tutorial. It's all very exciting. All right, I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to let you head over to the workstation and finish off the wreath. By the way, there's a lot of chopping, stop starting and then just popping it on fast, just so that you're not sitting there watching it forever. You can actually slow the video down if you need to see it better. All right, thank you very much for watching, and good luck all. What we're going to do is just real quickly pop on some green eyes for the cat. Now we did the green eyes, let's try that again. We did the black eye for the bird. That's pretty much the same way that we're going to do the green eyes, all right? So I've got some green thread here. It's the same as that. It's a 4-ply or a light 2-weight thread, very thin cotton, if you will. And I'm using this particular 2.5mm hook. It's the Addy, which I don't usually use, but I thought I'd try it just for the channel, just for today. Just making a quick slip knot with your fingers, wrapping it around like so. Pass your back loop halfway over your finger, pass the other loop all the way over. This is going to be so quick. And so all you're going to do, you've popped your hook in the little loop, and I'll do a nice close-up. Very simple. All you're going to do is chain 1, chain 2, and chain 3. Okay, we do 3. Oh, we might not be able to do 3. Let's drop it down to chain 2 only, and I'll explain why in a minute. Now, in the very first chain that you created, you need to do a single crochet. That's popping your hook in the loop, pull a loop through like so, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both those loops, pull up a loop. Now let's hope this works. Let's hope it works. Just give it a cut. It may be too small. If it is, we'll just do it again with the second loop. Now the reason I did it was because this eye is tiny, and maybe we should have done the other one. All right, grab a sewing needle. Now this is the one I'm using today only because I've lost my straight one. So if you've got a normal straight sewing needle, use that one. All right, so what we're going to do is sew. This is the front of our cat. Sew your thread into the stitches, the base of the stitches there, like that. Just pulling the loop out. Oh, I haven't made the tail short, made it too long. Yeah. And leaving it there, just letting the tail sit like that for now. Grab the other side of this tail, the other tail, or the other end I should say, of the tail, and you're going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. So just go through, oh, here we go, a few of those stitches right there, passing right over that other one and just into, I don't know, a little bit of thread there, yeah? So when you do that, your little eye if I can get the tail out, should close up like that. All right, then you just pass your needle. Actually, you know what I might do? Attach it. See that little space there? I might reattach to the green thread. Oh, if I can make this tail shorter. Make your tail shorter, guys. And then just passing it down anywhere you want. I'm going to leave that drop at the back. And the same with this one here. Rethread. We're here, we're going to go into the green. It would have been better with a normal sewing needle, sorry guys, but I can't find it. I believe it's lost in the couch, as they normally are, yeah? Going through the back somewhere and pulling it through like so. Then turning your little guy over, you can just tie him up. I wouldn't fuss too much about weaving in these tails here. In fact, you can probably use some of these tails to attach to your wreath, yeah? All right, make one more eye right there, and I'll meet you back here and we will attach our little kitty to the wreath. Alrighty guys, so both those eyes have been done. Now your job is to grab your wreath. Your job is to find places to pop your things, yeah? We're going to start off with the cloud and the raindrops, okay? So initially, your cloud should go any way you like. I don't know, just find a way that you want him to go there and fix up your little raindrops to go there. Now these threads will be gone. We're using these threads to sew the raindrops onto the wreath. You can do your raindrops any way you like. You can do it like that, any way you like. The easiest thing to do is to grab stitch markers. All right, so grab some stitch markers and place them in the spot that you want your pieces to go. All right, so let's just say, assuming we want the cloud to go there, just assuming that's the center. The center hits right there. All right, the same with your little raindrops. Okay, so place your stitch markers in an area where you want your raindrops to go. You know that's your first one. I'm not going to put them in because I don't use them. I just use my eyes, which is why they all get crowded up there, but don't tell anyone. And place them where you want your little raindrops to go. Now your raindrops can either go in sync like this, down that way, yeah, or I don't know if you can see that, or they can go like that, or they can go like that. Now it's entirely up to you how you want yours. I don't know, maybe sync is really a good thing. In sync one way or another, like there, there, and there. Or you can just have them like that on an angle like that. Just so long as your other pieces fit. So my suggestion would be to pop your pieces on with your stitch markers. All right, so you know pretty much where everything is going to go. Already I realized I've overcrowded. Let's have a look and I'll show you. So by the time I get my angel, it's not going to fit in there. So the idea is to try everything. Try it all out. I'm going to have to move it all down. All right, so have a play. Pop your stitch marker in each item. Pop your stitch marker in there, pop your stitch marker in there, pop your stitch marker in there, and so on. All right, so pop your stitch markers in. Meet me back here in a moment and we will get ready to attach our pieces. Alrighty, so what I did was I placed a stitch marker in the center of every piece. All right, and that helps me to realize when I'm doing the other piece. In fact, see these little raindrops? I didn't put stitch markers on those. I put the stitch marker in the center of the cloud. This gives me the opportunity to put the cloud on and then later work on the raindrops. Because if I work on the raindrops now and I place one there, one there, one there, I've passed my stitch marker. So that stitch marker, all those stitch markers are the center of your very next piece. To remember what pieces you have, always have the piece before it. So that's there, and this will be one of the flowers before it to remind you that's exactly where your cloud goes. See the center of my cloud? Let's get a close up. The center of my cloud where that tail is, it'll go right on that stitch marker, and that's the way I want it to go. I hope that makes sense. All right, so whilst we're doing that, we get rid of all other pieces. We are going to grab the center of our cloud. Now, I can't remember whether or not I've sewn that in. I don't think I have. So what I'm going to do is just sew a little bit around anywhere inside the center of the cloud. This is the sew not right needle to use. Get yourself a proper needle, guys. This is way too thick, way too thick. But sewing in the center, it just helps me to tighten up that center for starters, and then get it ready to attach to the piece. And then I've gone through right in the middle. That's why a thinner needle would have been better for this part. If you used the 2-ply cotton, the 4-ply cotton, the number 2 cotton. Now, focus on which way you want your cloud to go. I'm going to have my cloud this way. So the center of my cloud is going to be right in there. So grab a little area that you want your thread to go through, taking out that stitch marker now. And I've popped the center down. Now I can work around that cloud, yeah? In fact, if anything, I would probably, how much thread have I got here? That won't get me around. So I might bring some of the cloud cotton up to here, come around this way, and then use that one there to go around. And it's entirely up to you how you plan your attaching your cloud or any piece to your wreath. You can also just pin them to your wreath using safety pins, so that if you wanted to take these items off and move them around during the year, or if you wanted to take them all off and make Christmas decorations on your wreath, you can do that too. Yeah, there's many options to having a wreath. You can use for whatever you like. Yeah, so I'm not doing anything, I'm just going through some of the threads. And now I'm here, so I'm going to bring this around a little bit. Not a lot. It doesn't need to have a lot. It just needs to go through a little bit so that it's not going to come loose. So nice big long strips. You can go through your stitches if you like. I found that with some of those I did. If it's noticeable, don't do it. And this one might actually be noticeable, the cotton, but I'm going to go through very lightly. And the bonus, if you go through lightly, you can also take that undone. All right, I'm going to pop this on fast for you, and off we go. All right, so here I am. I've got no tail left now. So what I'm going to do, I've got a little bit of tail. I'm just going to attach it to the wreath using a little knot. So pulling it through and not bringing the whole thing through, but just bringing a little bit through just to make a little knot there. All right, so here we are. This is the tail from the other side. You tuck it in there and you literally, we'll try putting it through there first. You literally start closing up this piece a little bit further in. That was too far out, yeah. Start closing it up. Now this is the area exactly here where the tail was. Once again, if you find you have another way of doing things, by all means, do it the way you like, all right? Now, doing it this way here, just if I can get this through here, doesn't want to go in. I'm pushing and pushing, it's not going anywhere. You're going to do the same with this piece here, but what we might do is just sew a little bit in there, making sure you can't see the needle from there. Just sew a little bit through there, and that just tightens that piece down, so it's not going to come undone. I'm hoping you can see this, guys. And we're just going to go into that one there, straight back out, and then we're going to start knotting like we did before. All right, so now we're going to start making the knot, which is pulling it through. This one might be a little too short, this tail. Hopefully yours is longer. You could have just added another tail. That's okay too. Add more thread, whatever suits you. Yeah. Now with this one here, I'm not going to knot anymore. What I'm going to do is just sew through, making sure you don't come too far out. Look at that big gap there. Just sew through the piece like that. Yeah. And then go in through the piece through the other side. Once you pull it a little bit, it'll all tuck in, and that little tail right there, you're going to give a cut like that. So it's all attached, right? I think I've tightened it too much here. All right, so there's the cloud. Now you're going to pop your raindrops. Find a place where you want to pop your raindrops. Yeah, so you decide where you want yours to go. I'm going to leave one right up the top there. And we're going to start that one real quickly. I'll pop it on fast for you as well, so that you can see it, and you can slow your video down with your settings. You'll have a settings there where you can slow your video down up the top on your YouTube account there. Alrighty guys, I threaded it off air. It was driving me batty. Now I threaded I forgot to mention, to thread your center piece first. Like we did with this one, we threaded the center piece, yeah? So what you want to do, find a place for your, hang on, where are we? Our drop is going to go that way. I'm going to put it up high because once you start sewing it, it moves down a little bit. I noticed that with this piece here. So, and that's because we're doing the center piece, yeah? So what you want to do is just find a little bit of thread. Remember, this is the center section. So once you put that down, your little raindrop is going to move. It's already moved down a little bit. And we are once again going to thread it through some stitching. Again, not necessary. You can do it any other way that you like. Well, that wasn't much. I shouldn't have put it on fast, should I? It's a very quick one, all right? So there's your first raindrop. I'm going to find a way to literally attach it to the wreath now with a knot. Like that there. Just in there with a knot. Or it might even pay. Oh no, we'll do it like that. I don't think there's enough. It's not enough. But I can just pass that through here. If your needle comes out, just do it like that. It's the same thing, yeah? So we're going to literally finish off by doing that. I'm going to do this off air, see if I can get this done easier. So I'm going to do that one off air, and what I want you to do is do the next 3 drops, making sure they're on the right side of your work. and do them the way you want your raindrops to go. All right, so go ahead and do that off air. It's a little bit awkward for me to show you this tiny little bit on air. Do that off air and I'll meet you back here once you're done. Alrighty guys, I did a really poor job at attaching my raindrops. Hopefully yours look a little better than mine, but we're going to get on with the next item. Now I'm going to use the orange cotton because this one has all been weaved in. This was one I practiced off air and decided that I'm going to put it on the wreath as well because I loved the orange look. And we didn't have a proper orange. We've got like a gold and other things like a pinky colour, but not, and even a red, but not a proper orange. So I thought, let's pop this one on as well. Once again, let's get rid of the thread. You find a place where you popped your stitch markers. This one here has a tail, which we will work on later, if yours has tails. If not, just grab a whole new thread, yeah? I'm not going to worry about the green because it's already been weaved in. And I'm just going to find the edges of the piece right here. Now you can, I'm going to leave a long tail for this. Pop it in the base of that flower like so, yeah? And then I'm just going to leave this tail here and just see how I go at popping them all the way around. And there's no right or wrong way with the flower because the flower itself is just like oval shape, really. So you just follow the oval and follow some green like that. I'm going to pop this on fast for you. And then into the very next stitch or anywhere where you feel comfortable. Before you continue, take out your stitch marker or you're going to sew your stitch marker in. You don't want to do that. All right, so I'm not going to show you anymore. I just showed you the petal all the way around. And if you want, we can just do one more stitch. Let's just do one more stitch there. And then I think we're going to come right down low here. And then I think you can head off and do your own. Yeah? All right, I think that's a really good idea. And there you go. So see how your petal has stretched out a bit and not squished up like that. It's kind of stretched out a little bit. So you need to do that all the way around, get to here, leaving yourself a couple of tails, and we'll weave them in together. All right, go ahead and do that flower now, and I'll meet you back here once you're done. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this flower right here. Now, once again, I'm going to literally just, I'm not going to knot it, I'm just going to pass this tail through. I've decided not to knot it, plus I wanted to straighten up this area a bit as well, because I found this one a little bit crooked. And the same with this tail here, which is still attached to the thread. We're going to pass that in there and just keep going through some thicknesses. I think that should do it. I don't think knotting it is worth it when it comes to the flower because it's gone through so many ends. See that? Has lifted up a little bit. So I'm going to bring that tail through and fix that area up as well. Now, the reason I'm stopping there, keep going in and out a few times, do the same with that tail there, that's not going to come undone. The reason I'm rushing you is see this one right here? All right, there, that's exactly the same. So you're going to attach your pink one exactly the same. Remember, you are starting from the center piece, going around in the middle a little bit, and then just getting your pink one, and it looks like the pink is not enough. All right, so I'm going to have trouble. I might have to see if I can find some more pink and attach that piece right there. All right, so head off on your own. Finish this off by weaving your ends in and out. I'm going to straighten this little edge a little bit more, flatten that down a bit, and then I'm going to do that one, and I will meet you back here so that we can attach our October project, which is the kitty with the eyes. All right, so go ahead and do that one there. Meet me back here and we'll do the October one. Alrighty guys, and that's your flower on. So once again, I'm not going to let you watch me do this part here because I'm pretty sure you know what you're doing. Here's a little cat. We're going to place our cat there for our October project. You need to attach the eyes first, the little green eyes, just 1 or 2 stitches, then grab a purple and go around exactly the same way that we've been doing our flowers. So I don't think I need to show you this again. You know what you're doing here with the flowers and the actual October project because you've got the little ends there. All right, so start with your green, attach your eyes there, do your purple and attach them all the way around, making sure you take out your stitch marker like I nearly forgot before, and I will meet you back here and we'll talk about the last 2 projects. Alrighty, so we've got our cloud with the raindrops, we've got the 2 flowers, I've got the little kitty on, which I put on a little crooked, but you don't know that. I just won't say anything and I won't tell you and you won't know. Do you like that? Look, I don't even mind if you see my mistakes. Yeah, they're not really mistakes, it's just a little crooked. And actually it's not, because you see this, your wreath will be tighter than mine. And if you remember when we did the wreath originally, I said to you mine was too loose. This is what I want you to do to tighten yours. So your wreath will be so much tighter than mine, okay? That would make it easier for you to attach your kitty and your rest of your projects, yeah? Now I found with the bird, it's the November wreath item. Now with that bird, I'm going to find a lot of problems because there's a lot of little nooks and crannies to get into. So there's a lot of little sections to go to. So I'm not going to do that on air because I don't want you to see me fuss with it. But the way I want you to do yours is, if you have a bird, probably to start with things like something as small as the beak. Attach that first, or actually do the center first. But before you do, I do want to show you one thing. With the bird, I didn't tighten that up enough and I didn't weave that end in. Before we attach it to the wreath, I want you to literally go into the center a little bit and tighten it up. Just that little tiny bit, because I can look at that. It's already coming. I don't know if you can see it with the wreath in the way. Let's move the wreath. There, let's get closer. All right, so if you give it a bit of a tug, the gap is already opening and we don't want that. So let's tighten it up a little. And then let's just put, oh, am I in frame? No, I'm not. Excuse me, Mary, get into frame. Let's just go through a few little sections here just to tighten it up a little, just in the center. All right, and then you attach the center piece to the wreath here, which will be right there on your orange oops, I'm not even in frame, excuse me, right there on your orange stitch marker or whatever stitch marker color you used. Now I'm going to keep him like that. I want the bird to look up at the angel. All right, start from your center thread, attach that first in the middle, then get all your little bibs and bobs threads matching each color and attach them as well. Meet me back here in a moment. It'll be like an hour for me. I'm so bad at this. Meet me back here in 5 seconds and we'll talk about what we're going to do with the angel. Alrighty guys, we've got our cloud and rain for August, our flowers for September, our kitty cat for October, our bird for November, and yay! We now have the angel. Now I've been stewing over how I'm going to put this angel up, but I would like her to go up a little high enough for, say, 1, 2, 3, 4th. We'll try that again. It's really awkward now, isn't it, guys? So 1, 2, 3, 4th double crochet sits there. 4th double crochet sits on there. So a little bit of a point will be sticking up and part of the head will be sticking up. Not all of it, because we want to attach some of it. So it's attached there. But do we want her to go up a little more? You can decide how high up your head wants to go. I'm going to bring her up a little bit, and I'm going to try and move away from the line a little bit, but not too much. We don't want that line showing. What we're going to do first is thread the center thread. Remember the center thread on the head that we did yesterday? We're going to thread that like so. And then, let's move that out the way for a minute, because first thing we're going to do is just, remember I said that head will open up, just weave a little bit up the top. That's all. Make sure you can't see the needle from the front, which you can't, which is good. Oops, don't lose that thread. And then what we're going to do, I will do a bit more, because I want to get to the opposite side of the head, which is there. Because I'm going to start sewing that part right there to the wreath. All right. Now we're going to take out that stitch marker. We don't need it there anymore. Okay. Pop your little lady there, making sure that that line is covered by the center of your angel. So all I'm going to do here is, moving it around here, is attaching her head to some, whoops, let's try that again. Let's not be in frame. That's where the tail is from her head. So attaching it to some of the thread at the back, right there, but not too high up, because we don't want her head to be too high up. And with her, I'm going to go through back loops, because I don't want the thread showing for the angel. It's a centerpiece and I want to keep it centered, if you will. And there, in there, and through the back. Like so. And let's have a look and make sure she's straight. She looks a little crooked to me. She's a little bit crooked. It's not my fault. It's her fault. She wouldn't sit still. All right, it's not her fault. There. All right, so like so. Now, with this, we're going to start doing her wing, but not all of it. We're not doing, again, up to you, but I'm actually going to go into, say, the third or the fourth. Yep, around near the fourth. All right, so we are there. We want to go over that little center bit. Find some threading here. Pop your needle in. Count 1, 2, 3, and 4. And just under some stitching at the back of the fourth stitch. Like that. Leave that tail there. We can use some of that to work with, or maybe we'll just weave that in later. You've got to keep straightening it up, because this is the end, and I can actually see her going crooked. And it's only because I want to cover that line right there. Maybe I shouldn't worry about the line at all. I shouldn't worry about it, but anyway, never mind. We have to worry about it, don't we? Going back, you know what, we can actually go into the line, to be fair. And obviously the threads come out. Well, excuse me, Mary. You know what we might do? We might stop using this thread, because that's going to come undone. So what I'm going to do, we'll leave that one too. See the tail? Look how long that thread is. It's really long. So what I'm going to do is weave this one up the back of her dress, weaving it back into the actual dress, and then we can attach that going upwards. That might help too. Okay, let me just weave this in, and I'll pop this on fast, and off we go. Now that we're here, we're going to go, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. So going into that stitch, if you can get in there, right there, and then into some of the green. Now this is where you need to make sure she's straight. And now into, I just pulled that too tight, you don't want to pull that too tight, into some of the green right there. Find a nice spot to go into. Oops, don't pull that too tight. Remember, it's actually just weaved in, so you don't want that too tight. If you want, you can just start a whole new thread. I just think that's defeats the purpose, right? It really does. You've got so many threads here. All right, so pass that through the next stitch. And through the back of some green there. I can get the needle in through the next stitch. I wasn't going to go through the stitches, but I think it works better, to be fair. Out through the waist. And then we can start going in through some green in here. Alright, so I might pop this on fast because this is taking forever for me. And then at least if you want to slow yours down, you can, but I might actually just pop mine on fast. I've made it down to the base of her dress. I think that should do it, all right? So I will play with it a little bit more in a minute. I might come across here a little bit, just in there, or maybe not. We could leave it. I just want a bit worried about this thing sticking up down here in the corner because I'm pulling the thread. But make sure that you weave in all these ends inside your angel. This is the very last tail, the very end tail that we did. Just weave it in through there and probably down into the center of that. In fact, I'm going to take this undone and I'll fix this part here off air later because that's just weaving in now. I want to show you what to do with this one here because it's a little bit awkward being right on her wing there, yeah? So I'll just show you that one real quickly. So all you want to do is just go down into, let's get a close up so you can see what I'm doing. Just go down into a piece of thread. So it would have been better if I had a nice thin needle like I've got somewhere hiding, yeah? So there it is. And then you want to actually just weave through the back somewhere, yeah? And in the back of the next stitch as well. And then maybe in the back of the next stitch, just a little bit, not much. And then once you get to a certain area, don't pull that too tight, you want to weave that into some of your green at the back. That might not be low enough. No, that's low enough. Find some green at the back, like so. Oh, no, too low. I just pulled it too tight. Okay, and then just weave your thread in through your piece of work. Oh, I've lost my tail. There it is. This guy we need to weave in later. I'll do that off air. Don't worry about it. So there you go, guys. There it is. It's all done. Yours truly's little head can fit in, well, big head really, can fit in that little wreath. Now, the next time you see this wreath, it'll be pinned up somewhere. Probably be next week's on Wednesday's live. You'll see it hooked up somewhere within the room. So there you go. But I want to thank everyone once again for all your time that you have put in for our wreath, and for the color combinations that you guys as subscribers have chosen for the wreath. Now, I did choose 1, 2, and I think there's another one somewhere. I'm not even going to go there because I can't remember. It's a whole year's worth. Don't you love it? What can I say? You guys make our channel, really you do. If it wasn't for you, I would not be here. And I want to give you a very special thank you for that. Also, don't forget to join us at the end of this week, around Thursday or Friday, where we will have a video vlog, a very important video vlog, talking all about subscriber of the year. Very exciting. Don't forget to join us for that. My name is Mary. This is Wow Crochet Designs, and happy wreath to you. Oh, and don't forget, I do leave a Christmas message on Christmas Eve. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Ciao for now. Oh, I love it so much. My favourite one, let's see, which one is my favourite one? I do love the angel. The angel's very nice, but the balloons, well, that's in honour of my birthday in January.